Good morning, welcome to sunny Brisbane. I've had a message this morning off someone asking about visas and what I think is the best pathway. Now, everyone's got a different opinion on this, so this is my opinion from what I've seen and what I've spoken to people about. The main three ones what people tend to go for are like the 190 visa, which is permanent resident, 491, which is temporary skills, and then the sponsored visa, for business. So they've all got a bit of pros and cons. It's up to you to decide which you think is best, but I'm just going to give you a rundown of my opinions on them. So I'll start at the top first. If you're going for the one that gives you the best rights and everything, I'd go for the 190 visa. It takes longer to get the visa, but it entitles you to a lot more things. We went for the 190, it took forever to get us here. We saw loads of people coming on the 491 and we thought we should have gone for that, but when we've got here, you see the cons then. So with the 190 visa, you're entitled to everything as a citizen would. So when you come to buy a house, you don't have to pay the foreign investment tax. When you put your kid in school and childcare, you get help with childcare. So at the minute, we're getting 70% help with the childcare, which is massive. I mean, I'm paying $50, $60 a week for Max to be an after school club and some morning clubs as well. And they pay 70% of that. So it's a massive chunk what we're saving with it. If you're on a 491, you don't get that because you're classed as a temporary skills. So the idea is you're supposed to be here to fill them gaps. The other thing is with the 491, with the 190, sorry, you don't pay foreign investment tax. So when you come to buy a house, I've got a couple of friends who's just bought houses and they've been stung by it, and it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I mean, I think someone just said now, if you're buying a house and it's something like $1 million, you can hit you with like $96,000 in foreign investment tax. So the idea is they don't want people coming here, buying houses up and not living here, which happens a lot. You'd be surprised. A lot of Chinese investors come, buy properties, and they never even see the houses. We've seen them all over the place, and like we've got a friend lives in the Gold Coast. They've got a house over the way, and they said, oh, so the next door it was, and they've never been in there. The house is empty. I don't know if it's true or not, but someone said you can't own property in China, so they spend all the money here, so the money's not sat in a Chinese bank because the Communist Party can take it. I don't know about that, but hey. So yeah, that's the benefits with the 190. You're just classed as a citizen. Like we came to buy our house and we'd obviously been travelling around Bali and Thailand and everything before we came because of COVID. We just decided, come on, let's go and see the world a bit. Been sat in for years. So we came here and we did that, but we got the 5% government back guarantee scheme, so we only needed to put 5% down for our house, which helped because obviously you get here, and we came here with, what did we have? We had something like $60,000 left because we'd just been spending, travelling. So we came here with $6,000, which works out about 30, was it 60,000? Yeah, it's about 36,000 quid I think we had left. So that 5% helped us get on the property ladder because we got here and straight away we had to rent a property, and when we rented that property we had to pay $18,000, which was 6 months up front. That's all changed now because they're not allowed to apparently do that now. What people were saying was, pay me a year up front because it's a nightmare to get a house. Don't think it's not. Some people can't get houses. They'll just tell the landlord whatever they want. No pets, we'll pay you whatever you want, and they're still not getting houses. There's queues outside to get the houses, so yeah, it can be crazy. Anyway, back to the visas. The second visa down is the 491, which is temporary skills. So with the temporary skills, you're supposed to work in regional areas. Now, Gold Coast is classed as a regional area, so a lot of people go down there. It's a lovely place to live, but it's very expensive, so just bear that in mind. For rent anyway, in houses. Food and everything, probably the same. But yeah, with the 491, you're classed as a temporary resident, so you don't get help with your childcare. You have to pay foreign investment tax if you plan to buy a house because you're not classed as a citizen, you're not classed as a permanent resident. So it can be a bit shit, but you get here faster. So like I say, when we was waiting on our 190, it took something like 980 days for it to come through, but that was during COVID. So it took us nearly 3 years to get here, and people were getting the 491s, and we're going. We actually got onto the people who did our visa and said, look, can we go for the 491? And they said, why would you want to do that? Your 190 is a lot better, it gives you more benefits. So we said, oh, okay. leave it then, we'll just wait. So we waited out, and the best thing we ever did, because we've saved a fortune by having it. The 491 gets you here faster, but if you want to buy a house and everything, you're going to get hit with all the taxes. If you're not interested in houses and you don't have kids, so say you're a young couple, 491 will be perfect for you. You come here, you don't have to pay for your childcare, so you don't need help with that. You're not interested in buying, so you can just rent. You're paying normal rent prices, so it is good. 491, you do get here quicker. I'm not sure what the price of that one is either. I think we paid about £10,000 in the end with ours. That was for the 190. At the time it was something like 4,500 for the visas, £300 each for our medicals, which we had to do twice. Your police checks, I think they was £100 each. I had to get my skills transferred over, that was another 1,500 quid. So, and then we had to pay our relocation experts, which was the Down Under Centre in the UK. They sorted it all out, so they had their fees. So in total it comes to about 10 grand English. Totally worth it. Best thing we ever did. We've lived there for going on 2 years now, and it just feels like home. It's like it's just like the UK, but without all the shit. You don't see much crime. The only crime you get here is a bit of wheel spinning, kids doing cars drifting. It's like back in the 80s. So yeah, so the 491's good. If you want to get here quick, you've got no kids, you're not interested in buying, that's perfect for you. Obviously you can come on if you want to buy a house, but obviously just be aware you've got to pay these taxes, so look into it. And then the other one, what someone's messaged me today about, is like sponsorship visa for business. I've not really looked at that one because it wasn't our first choice, it wasn't our second choice. I know some people say, well, I can get there on that and I get sponsored off someone, so it gives you a bit of peace of mind because you've got a job. But what I've spoken to other people with that business sponsored visa is you're a bit tied to them. So say you get there and you don't like the company, you're tied to them. You leave that company, you're fucked. You've got to find another company that will sponsor you, which can be a bit of a nightmare because obviously it's a risk for them. They have to pay for your visa. So if you're doing the business sponsored visa, just be prepared. You might end up working for a company that you're stuck with that you don't like, and that you've got to stick with them for it all, or find another company. And I've heard about people having the piss took out of them, and they just try it on all the time. They treat you a bit like shit because they know they've got you. Well, if you don't like it, I'll fucking get rid of you. All they've got to pay is $3,000 odd, and they've got a worker there which they probably couldn't find, and you'll probably be on a lower rate than what you should be. If you find a good company and they look after you, fair enough. But if you get a company and they've got you here and they take the piss and you're stuffed. There was actually a company, the company I was just working for had a guy, and he was like one of the managers, and apparently he had his own company down in the Gold Coast, and what he was doing was, it's a couple of Irish brothers, they were getting people from the UK over and taking the money out of the wages for the visas, which is illegal. And they actually got fined something like $1 million and had to pay all the people back. Their business went under, and I thought that was really scummy. So that's the kind of stuff you're up against, and that's someone from Ireland, so that's someone from the UK taking the piss out of their own people, you know, getting over here. So if they're willing to do that, then an Australian who gets you over here, not got any relation to you whatsoever, they might think you're brilliant and they look after you. You don't know. So that's something just to be wary of if you do get here and you're stuck with them. Which is why I say go for like the 491 or the 190. You're independent, you can move with any company you want. If you're not happy, you go, fuck you, I'm going, move to a different company. And there's loads of work, especially with the trades, loads of work. I worked for a company for just over a year, and they were good, but they just didn't give a shit about you. So in the end, it came to it, time to move on. So I'm working for myself now. And when you're working for yourself, you can earn 2, 3, 4, 5 times what they pay you. It's a lot better, and you earn better money as well, but that's another video. So if you want to know how much you earn as a carpenter or in construction, like and subscribe and put a message in this. Any questions, just drop a message on this video now. But yeah, so that's the only thing to be wary about with being sponsored off a business. There's a company called Kitchen Connection, and I know they used to be on a website, and I've seen them like advertising, and everyone I spoke to said they're bastards with you, they treat you like shit. So you got to be wary. Like, just be wary with who's sponsoring you. That's just second-hand information, what I've been told. Might not be true, but it's just what I've said. And like, yeah, just be wary. Obviously, Gemma, my wife, her brother came over 8 years ago with Siemens. He was sponsored off Siemens when they were into telecoms. And they came over, brought him over, really looked after him. They paid a relocation agent that stayed with them for a week, took him around, found the house, showed him where to go shopping and everything. So if you get someone like that that's really invested in you, that's good. But I don't know how invested they can be now. That's a big company at the time, and telecoms were big money paying. Whereas if you're working for a small company, they're not really going to be that bothered. They're going to be like, yeah, get in, that's it. The other thing with jobs as well, people complaining, oh, I can't get a job, no one gets back to me. They won't. No one will bother with you until you're onshore. I had the same thing. No one bothered with me. As soon as I landed, I had 12 job offers. So that's the difference. When you hear people say, yeah, give us a ring, come on, and they chase you up as well. There was I went working for that company because it was an English guy that got in touch with me, and he was from Manchester. And that's the reason I went to that company, because he was sound, and he said, oh, I'll help you if you need to buy tools, I'll get them for you. There was another girl for a company, and she was really nice. She said, yeah, we'll meet up, we'll go for coffee and we'll get to chat and show you around and all that kind of stuff. But he kind of tied it because he was from Manchester and I liked him. So I'm still in contact, and yeah, you make friends as you go. Can't think of any other visas. I know there's is it the 189, which is the full visa, but that's like, you need high points for that one, where you come here and you're like, I'm not sure you're full citizen then. I can't think what that one is. Yeah, but first to go for 190, second 491, and business one. Depends on the company you're working for. So hope it's been a bit informative for you. If you've got any more questions, let me know. I can't think of anything else that you need to know. Yeah, we're all learning. We're still finding things out as we go. It's just, it is what it is. You're starting a new life. That's the way you got to look at it. So forget everything that's been behind you. Start a new life. Look to the future. If you can't get the job what you want, just find a new job when you get here, because there's loads, and there's loads of people wanting you. All they want is someone who's got a bit about them, uses the brain, because you get here and some people are just quick. And like where Gemma works in retail, she says we just want people that can use the brains and do stuff. So, bit of advice, get over here, put your CVs out, and you'll find a job, no problem. So that's all for today. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope it's told you a little bit about things. If you've got anything that you'd like to say and add, you can stick it in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one. And I'm going to do a video about how much you can earn being a carpenter. So make sure you stick around for that one. Thanks a lot. See you in the future. Goodbye.